Hello, and welcome to my channel, where I mostly share my love of fragrance and enjoying my collection. In this video, I'll be sharing my 2023 Best of Victoria's Secret fragrance. Thank you so much for stopping by, and let's get started. It's almost semi-annual sale time, and I wanted to take a look back at all of the 2023 fragrance releases from Victoria's Secret and Pink, including perfumes and body mists, and share my favorites of the year as we approach the sale. As the year goes on, I feel like I can get distracted by the shiny new stuff and forget about the scents that came out earlier. But there are definitely some fragrances that stood out enough to keep me reaching for them throughout the year. I'll also share some thoughts on what I think about this year's releases overall at the end of the video. This is a great time to think about what fragrances you might want to pick up in the sale. And I do have dedicated videos on virtually everything shown in this video, so you can check out my Victoria's Secret playlist if you want to see detailed reviews on any of the scents featured. And if you want to see mini reviews or what's coming up on my channel, you can join me over on Instagram at @ClaraandBloom. I'm going to start with perfumes, and since Victoria's Secret only releases a few of those each year, I'll do a brief recap of all of them, and then let you know which ones were my favorites. The first perfume release of the year was Bombshell Isle, and I was just happy that we got another new Bombshell flanker for summer instead of the Bombshell Summer, aka Paradise, aka Beach scent we got for several years in a row. Bombshell Isle has notes of ocean air, pearl peony, and island coconut, and it's an aquatic floral with touches of coconut and a warm, woody base. It's airy and beachy and has a solar quality to it. Then they relaunched the Heavenly and Heavenly Dream Angel perfumes in new packaging. I wasn't that excited about this release because I already had these scents, but Heavenly has notes of gold musk, vanilla sandalwood, and white jasmine. And Dream Angel has notes of prismatic musk, raspberry nectar, and amber crystals. I'm not sure if these are staying in the core line or if they'll be discontinued for SAS, but I finally picked these up recently, and I plan to have a detailed review coming up comparing them to their previous versions. I don't usually include perfumes re-released for SAS in my favorites, but I had to give a nod to Fearless, which they brought back this summer because it's just too good to not include. It has notes of blackcurrant, purple diamond iris, and orris, and it's a fruity scent that's dark and sexy, with syrupy blackcurrant and a soft powdery floral from the iris and orris. It has a good amount of sweetness, and I feel like there's some vanilla or something similar in it as well. And I think it's just a really nice scent. Next came Bare Rose, which is a flanker to the Bare perfume that launched last year. It has notes of pear skin, Rosa centifolia, and sheer woods, and it's a warm, woody floral that starts predominantly as a rose scent, but turns into a sweet, woody scent with a touch of rose. There's a soft, fresh pear in the opening, and while the rose is initially dry and a bit green, it dries down warm and sweet. Then they released Tease Cocoa Soirée, which has notes of lush wildberry, freesia petals, and whipped mocha. And this is a fruity floral scent with mocha and fluffy vanilla cream. It has sweet, juicy berries that feel closest to raspberry, as well as a strong, heady freesia. The mocha has a soft, chocolatey quality, and the cream has an airy vanilla sweetness. I can't say I like this one as much as Tea Sugar Floor from last year, but I do still like it a lot. And then VS released a set of 4 Bombshell flankers as part of a promotional tour, and they called it the Bombshell Tour. That included Bombshell Lagos, with notes of flame peony, velvet tamarind, and wild yellow hibiscus. And it's a tropical fruity floral with a sort of airy and ozonic quality, and the hibiscus feels more prominent than the peony. Next was Bombshell Bogotá, which has notes of neon peony, coffee flower, and gardenia. And this starts as a pretty straightforward creamy white floral with a bit of fruitiness, but as it dries, it becomes more woody and sweet. The gardenia feels most prominent, but combines with the peony and coffee flower to make a very heady floral. There's also something creamy and warm in the base that adds additional sweetness. Next was Bombshell Tokyo, with notes of blush peony, cherry blossom, and sparkling lychee. And this is a very floral-forward cherry blossom scent with a touch of fruitiness and a lightly powdery sweetness. And finally, there was Bombshell London, which has notes of garden lace peony, English rose, and blackcurrant. And this is a rose-heavy scent with some blackcurrant and a very subtle fruity floral sweetness. And the last perfume launch on the VS side was Bombshell Glamour, their holiday bombshell flanker, which has notes of velvet peach, crystal peony, and opulent amber. And this is a very warm, fruity floral with a honeyed sweetness. It's definitely peachy, but it feels more like sliced peaches soaked in syrup versus a fresh peach, and it has a slightly dark feel. It has a fleeting sparkling quality from Prosecco, and the peony is soft and slightly rosy, while the amber adds warmth and a bit of powderiness. And finally, on the pink side, they recently released Pink by Pink. They used to have a fragrance by that name a while back, but this is not the same scent. This one has notes of juicy apple, creamy jasmine, and sparkling cedarwood. I find it to be quite floral, with a fruity opening and a bit of an airy feeling, and it dries down warm and woody with a subtle sweetness. Overall, for perfumes, my favorites of the year were Bare Rose. Even though I think the opening is a bit strong, it dries down really pretty and sweet in a way that I prefer over the original Bare. Tease Cocoa Soirée, which I think is unique with a chocolatey note. And while I wish that were stronger, I still really enjoy the scent, and the raspberry kind of reminds me a bit of Scandalous. It's the most gourmand scent they released this year, so I think I'm just drawn to it. Bombshell Bogotá, which surprised me because I'm not the biggest fan of gardenia, but it's just creamy and sweet and beautiful. And Bombshell Glamour, and this is my absolute favorite new VS perfume this year. It's my first VS perfume with peach, and I think they really did it right. It feels elegant and has a rich sweetness to it, and I think it's perfect for holiday, but can also be worn year-round. Moving on to body care, I'm including my top picks from each season, and it can be the season a scent was released in or when I feel it's appropriate to wear, but I'm roughly going in order of release. And starting with spring, first I have Lush Air from the Elemental Escape collection, with notes of lotus flower, salted musk, and citrus tonic. This is a light, sweet floral with bright citrus and a breezy ocean air quality. It feels fruity and tropical, and it was really the only scent from the collection that I liked. Next is Pastel Sugar Sky from the Into the Clouds collection, which has notes of vanilla orchid, cotton candy, and lavender musk. And this is a lavender floral with a sugary cotton candy sweetness. It's not super sweet though, because it's tempered by the florals and musk. But this is the type of lavender scent that I enjoy, because it's not too herbal, and the scent overall has a good amount of sweetness. Then there's Orange Flower Sun, also from the Into the Clouds collection, with notes of citrus blossoms, blush woods, and bubblegum petals. And this is a bright, citrusy, bubblegummy floral. It's very sweet, as well as a little powdery and woody. The citrus is bright but not sharp. And while I think it may have tuberose, it does actually smell like bubblegum with a sweet powdery dust on top. It dries down to a creamy, citrusy floral with sweet bubblegum and woods, and I absolutely love this one. And from Pink, I have Coconut Sun from the We Heart Vacay collection, which has notes of toasted coconut, sunny vanilla, and ylang ylang. It's a bright, sunny scent with a bit of a beachy suntan lotion type of feeling. It has a nice sweetness from the coconut and vanilla, and dries down to a sweet vanilla floral with hints of coconut. Then I have Pink Tropic Vanilla, also from the We Heart Vacay collection, and this has notes of citrusy lime, creamy Manoi blooms, white coconut flower, and chilled vanilla, and it's a creamy, beachy floral with coconut and vanilla. Next up is summer, and first I have Bare Vanilla Splash from the Splash collection, with notes of coconut flower, iridescent lotus, and dewy vanilla. And this is a fresh vanilla floral with some warmth and a hint of coconut. It has a soft floral that feels fresh and sort of watery, and there's an overall bronzed, solar type of feeling to the scent. It has some vanilla sweetness, but it's not super sweet like many other Bare Vanilla flankers. It's more of a warm sweetness. Next is Private Sundeck from the Sunlit Resort collection, which has notes of solar citrus, honey tonka, and lush pineapple. And this is a delicious, rich, honeyed vanilla scent with a soft pineapple note. I think I originally described it as feeling like a pineapple that's been sitting in the sun and drizzled with sweet honey and vanilla. I really love this one, and it would definitely be in my top 5 of the year. Then I have Sugar Blur from the Fuchsia Fantasy collection, with notes of vanilla sugar, bright amber, and sheer raspberry. And this is a sweet, sugary vanilla that feels light and fluffy like cotton candy. It has a soft, syrupy raspberry and a sweet, powdery amber. And to me, it's basically a bright raspberry scent with a lot of sugary sweetness. Next is Beach Chill from the Faded Coast collection, which has notes of crisp pear, muguet petals, and radiant vanilla. And this is a sweet, fruity vanilla scent with a soft floral. It has sweet, juicy pear in the opening, but then it takes on a generic fruity berry sort of quality. The vanilla is warm and fresh, and as it dries, it becomes more sugary and almost candy-like. And from Pink, I have Sugar Sky from the Pink Fall collection. And this has notes of cotton candy skies, whipped vanilla, and sweet musk. And it's a sweet cotton candy scent with syrupy vanilla and a bit of creaminess. It has an airy muskiness, as well as a hint of powderiness that leans towards marshmallow. It's basically vanilla spun sugar with a bit of a clean, airy quality. Moving on to fall, first I have Autumn Shore from the Faded Coast collection. And this has notes of vanilla smoke, iced coffee, and smooth sandalwood. And it's a toasted marshmallow latte scent with a silky, woody base. It has rich coffee and warm, sweet sandalwood, with just a hint of smokiness. It's very vanillic and marshmallowy without being too powdery. Next, I have several from the Cashmere collection, which is hands down my favorite VS collection of the year. First, I have Bare Vanilla Cashmere, with notes of plush patchouli and vanilla orchid. And this is an incredibly beautiful floral with a fresh vanilla sweetness. It's not a pure vanilla scent, nor is it sugary, and it feels cozy and sweet. The patchouli isn't herbal, it's more woody and warm, with just a bit of an earthy quality, and the floral is sweet and creamy. This one is definitely top 5 for me. Next is Velvet Petals Cashmere, which has notes of toasted sugar and blonde woods. And this sweet, woody, sugary scent feels very cozy and warm, and has continued to grow on me. It has that very popular sweet, woody profile of a lot of famous scents. And the sweetness is sugary, but in a toasted and syrupy way, like it's starting to caramelize. It has a lot of woody warmth, and I feel like there's a soft floral note as well. Then I have Pure Seduction Cashmere, with notes of whipped meringue and decadent berries. And to me, this is candied berries topped with sugary whipped cream, with a bit of an airy quality as well. The berries feel like raspberry with maybe a touch of strawberry, and have a sugary candied feel to them. The meringue adds a creamy, lightly vanillic sweetness, and like many Pure Seduction flankers, this has a fruity candy or punch type of feel. It smells delicious, and I really enjoy it. And from Pink, I have Apple Dream from the Pink Fall collection, and this has notes of golden delicious apple, gloss candy coating, and autumn amber. And it's a sweet candy apple scent that's more syrupy than sugary, and has a sort of tartness to it. The sweet candy smells sort of like a Jolly Rancher, and the scent also has a warm, almost spicy quality from the amber. If you're looking for a candied apple scent, this is one of the best I've tried. And lastly, for winter and holiday, first I have Frostmelt from the Après Snow collection. And this has notes of fresh mint and hot chocolate, and I believe it also has whipped pistachio and tonka. It's a creamy, powdery chocolate scent with a bit of nuttiness and a touch of mint. It's like hot chocolate mix and peppermint combined, and reminds me of Thin Mints, and the tonka adds a whipped vanilla sweetness. This is one mint scent that I actually find pleasant, because the mint is very soft, and the scent overall is more gourmand. Next is Bare Vanilla Candied from the Candied collection, which has notes of strawberry sprinkles, marshmallow flour, and warm vanilla. And this is a sweet, marshmallowy vanilla with a powdery quality and touches of strawberry candy that does actually feel like sugary strawberry cake sprinkles. It's fluffy and sweet, yet still has a richness and a warmth to the vanilla. As this dries, it gets even sweeter and takes on an almost frosting-like quality that smells absolutely delicious and edible. And this is my favorite VS Mist of the year, and one of my favorite versions of Bare Vanilla ever. Then I have Vanilla Amber Bourbon from the Gilded Gala collection, with notes of vanilla amber, smooth bourbon, and orchid petals. And this is a warm ambery floral with touches of vanilla and bourbon. It has a nice caramelized vanilla sweetness and a touch of powderiness, and it's warm and sweet and comforting. The floral is soft, and there is a bit of booziness that doesn't feel smoky, but has a hint of woods, as well as a caramel-like quality. Keep in mind, though, that this isn't a vanilla scent, it's an amber scent that has a vanilla sweetness. And from Pink, first I have Warm and Cozy Bubbly from the Bubbly collection. And this has notes of fizzy raspberry, creamy vanilla, and cotton candy. This is a bright, tart raspberry scent with some fizziness, and it settles into a raspberry candy with a creamy vanilla sweetness. At first, I was a bit disappointed that I didn't get a lot of sugary cotton candy, but it sweetens as it dries, and it becomes more warm and creamy and candy-like. And finally, there's Pink Iced Coconut from the Pink Holiday Collection, with notes of frozen coconut, chilled air, and sweet cream. And this is all sweet, creamy coconut with an airy quality that keeps it from feeling heavy. The coconut is fresh and light, and the sweet cream adds vanillic sweetness, and together they produce a cloud of fluffy, coconutty vanilla cream. I think it's really sweet and gourmand and delicious. So that's it for my 2023 favorites from Victoria's Secret. I think that there were a lot of great releases from VS this year, in both perfume and fragrance mist. But I have to say, I think that 2022 was a little stronger in terms of body mist, while 2023's perfumes captured my attention more. There were definitely some standout scents though, and if I had to pick my top 5 mists, they would be, in no particular order, Bare Vanilla Candied, Orange Flower Sun, Private Sundeck, Bare Vanilla Cashmere, and Vanilla Amber Bourbon. Let me know what your favorite scents were from VS this year, and I'll see you all soon for semi-annual sale. Thank you for watching, I hope that you'll subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.